Hello, my friends, and welcome to the channel. Today, I have something a little different. I was in Ollies not too long ago, just looking around and see what was available, see what kind of action figures they had, and plus other stuff that we go in there and just to kind of check out. And I just so happened to see these figures right here. And they had a whole bunch of other ones as well, GI Joe classifieds. I am a GI Joe collector, but 1/6 scale, 12-inch GI Joe. I have never, never owned any ARAH GI Joe or a real American hero version from the 1980s. By the time those 3 3/4 figures came out, I was a lot older and practically in high school and no longer interested in playing with toys, and so I never actually did get into this line. But when I saw the price, and I ended up picking up these two right here, because I ended up getting each one for under $4 each. So I thought, well, let me check them out. So these are going to be my very first GI Joe classified or Raw series ever. I have never owned any of these figures, and I actually thought about ordering these two figures when Mego through in conjunction with Hasbro came out with these two figures right here, Snake Eyes and Storm Shadow, but I never actually got around to doing it. So we're going to go ahead and take a look at these two figures. They are 1/12 scale, 6-inch figures, and the only figures that I collect that are actually 6-inch or 1/12 scale are the Star Wars Black series. I do have a small collection of the new version of the Indiana Jones figures that came out, but the only other 6-inch figure that I do collect a little bit of is Action Force, and I'm really gotten into Action Force, and I may even do a little comparison and see how these actually compare to Action Force. So let's go ahead and take a look at these two and see what we get. Okay, the first figure I have here is Snake Eyes, and Snake Eyes is a part of GI Joe. I guess there's two factions. There's GI Joe, and then there's Cobra. I'm not too familiar with them, so I'm just kind of going off by what I understand, what I realize with these particular line. But he is, I guess, GI Joe being one of the good guys. He is one of the good guys. This is the front of the box. Now this particular line is from the movie Snake Eyes, and I've just been doing some quick research. I realized that there is another version of a Snake Eyes figure that's the standard classified figure. So this is the one that I got, and I got it for under $4. So I said, hey, let's give it a shot and see what they look like. So this is what the front of the box looks like. It's got the Hasbro GI Joe classified Snake Eyes. It does say that it is from the movie. This is the top of the box. Let's take a look at the side here. Number 16. Here's the back. Here's the back. There's an image of Snake Eyes. He must be some kind of ninja. Looks like he is, but not being familiar, that's what I'm thinking he is. So, okay, here he is. Let's take a closer look at what it comes with. Again, a face sculpt, his sword or his sheath for the sword, a couple of daggers, and there is the figure here. Let's go ahead and pull him out and see what he's all about. Okay, got him out. Let's go ahead and get this out. Let's get this sword out. Let's get the little daggers out. And the additional head sculpt. And here he is. Okay. I'm not sure from if this is what he's supposed to look like or not knowing anything about snake eyes. And here is the sheath right here. Well, I mean, it's not too bad. Here is the sword. Got a little bit of detail on it. Right. Let's see if it fits inside here. Well, doesn't fit inside there. Doesn't seem to fit inside here. Let's see here. Does it fit? Wait, can't even get it in there. Nope. Doesn't fit in there. The little daggers. Got a little bit of detail on it. Not much, but a little bit. And here he is right here. This is Snake Eyes. Kind of articulation does he have? Yeah. He doesn't. His head doesn't move a whole lot, just side to side, barely up and down. He's got I guess the logo there. Got a little bit of detail. There's his hands. He does move. He doesn't articulate a whole lot. The shoulders don't work. Barely. They're kind of rough. Yeah, but they do move. Oh boy. Yeah, they're a little stiff. He does rotate up and down his legs, do a split. He just, I'm telling you guys, just in his feel and his overall look, he just, compared to the Action Force, I just don't know about these guys here, but this is who he is. But let me see if he can hold his sword here. Let's see here. Here we have Storm Shadow. Here we have, again, G.I. Joe Classified Series, Storm Shadow, the Hasbro logo. Here is the actual logo for the movie, and this is the figure here. Let me turn around the back. Here is an image from the movie. It says Snake Eyes, G.I. Joe Origins. And it's got the side here showing Storm Shadow. And here is number 17. And the various different logos for G.I. Joe, I believe. Or G.I. Joe ARAH. And let's go ahead and open them up and see what we have with this particular action figure. Take them out here. There's the front now. I believe that is the Storm Shadow logo. But let's go ahead and move him off to the side here. And this is what we are looking at here as far as the figure. Again, you have the figure. This looks like it's a plate in the back to hold the swords. And there's a face sculpt and the figure. Let's go ahead and remove the actual figure first. Get him out here. We'll remove this piece here. I will get it out. Yep, there we go. Let's get the alternate head sculpt here. And let's get these swords out. Alrighty. And let's take a look at them individually here. Alright, this is that plate that I mentioned that'll hold the swords. I believe it attaches to the back of this figure here, if I'm not mistaken. There we go. Here we have the alternate head sculpt for this figure. Looks like he has a scar right across his eye here, and this is how it attaches. The back, sides. Let's put him here. Here's the first sword. Let's see, it's got some detail on the sword blade, and this is just a basic Japanese sword. Here we go. Let's go ahead and take a look at the actual figure. Here's his face sculpt. It does have a lot of detailing on it, but I wonder if this detailing is going to make his movability or articulation limited. There we go, you see. He's got, I believe this, yeah, there we go. Same thing with this. Here's this hand. There's this guy here. Right. Take a look at the details on his legs, his feet. Let's see here. Yep, you can bend. Yep, as I suspected, it's limited as far as the articulation of the legs, the ankles. Let's go ahead and okay, just to compare these two figures right here. Here they are side by side, right next to each other. We have Snake Eyes and Storm Shadow. Now, I had a terrible time trying to get, they wouldn't stand up on their own. There's something really off about their feet, so they couldn't, so I had to put them in these little stands that I make with the little flat washer with the compound putty, just to kind of get him to stand up. It's a little stand that I put together for these figures to kind of get them to stand up. But let's compare them to, let me get two of my favorites here from Action Force, so we can kind of, do a comparison. Granted, the Action Force figures are on their little bases that they come with, but here's Trigger, and here's Sergeant Slaughter. And what I've got here is, I'm telling you, granted, I got these two figures for under $4, so less than $8. I got two figures here, and I mean, for the price that I paid for them, I mean, they're not bad, but you know, granted, these figures are maybe 2 years old, a year and a half old, so you know, they've come out with other figures since then, but I really haven't kept track of this the classified GI Joe. But the only thing I know about them is they're in the $20 to $25 range that you get for these figures here. These, I paid like $30 a piece for them, but they come with all these accessories, and to me, I mean, I'm just basing it on these two right here, not looking at any of the other figures. The Action Force are just so much. They have so much more accessories, and they just look higher quality figures than these two. And that's all I have for today. This was just a quick look at these two figures that I ended up picking up at Ollies. Pretty inexpensive. I got them both for less than $8. But I mean, they are what they are. I mean, it's not knowing too much about the GI Joe classified line. I am, like I said, a 12-inch GI Joe collector, 1/6 scale collector, but I just thought I'd check them out. I mean, for the price. But that's all I have for today. Let me know if you have these figures, or if you have any of the other figures. And just, not knowing so much, I just going by what I've felt and what I've seen with these figures, comparing them to the Action Force. I prefer the Action Force figures, but I mean, they all have their pluses and their minuses. Again, leave me a comment down below. Now, I'm glad that I picked these up. I mean, I didn't pay a whole lot for them, but I want to thank you for watching. And please like, share, and subscribe. This really helps the channel. And if you click on the notification bell, you'll receive notice of future upcoming videos. So let's add to the action with Action Joe Figs.